Okay, I'm just about to go to the post office and drop off the packages for the Front Range Armor Group. So we're going to call this like the final words of advice. First, I kind of scared the crap out of myself today when I plugged in a board to test servo cables and nothing happened. At the end of the day, what I found was that my receiver had become unbound from my radio. There was nothing wrong with the board, but I was freaking out anyway. But after I plugged in a couple boards and got the same response, I figured, well, okay, it's probably not the boards, it's the radio. In that case, the first thing you want to do is a servo test. And I highly recommend that you do this before you start hooking up these boards. I'll come back to that in a second. So I did a servo test and nothing was happening, and that's how I discovered that my receiver was no longer bound. So I grabbed a bind plug and rebound the receiver to the transmitter and plugged everything back in, and it worked great, just the way it's supposed to. Now, I had my cell phone talking to somebody on the bench while I was working with this stuff, and I can't say for sure that the phone is what made the receiver come unbound from the transmitter, but I also can't say that's not what happened. So just to be safe, I recommend that you not have any cell phones on and close by while you're working on the electronics, just to be safe. Also, when you do the servo test, you'll want channel 1 and 2 on this stick and channel 3 and 4 on this stick. Now, if that's backwards, don't worry about it right now. You can, once you get everything figured out, you can change channel 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You can swap them around, and that'll change the stick locations. But for now, even if you have 1 and 2 on this stick, it's okay. Just remember that now your throttle's going to be on this side and your turret on this side until you get everything straightened out. Also, if you're doing the Pro, I recommend that you start out with 4 channels with only the first 4 servo cables hooked up. Okay, leave 5 and 6 off for now. Also, one of the things you'll want to do when you start is make sure all of your dip switches are over to the left, set to off. Most of your boards, it'll probably still have 4 set for on, switch number 4. That's the switch for LiPo batteries. I'm using a LiPo, so I had them all set for LiPos. If you're using a NIM, throw 4 to off. If you're using a LiPo, just leave it as it is. Channel 6 is whether you're running a 4 or 6 channel radio, that should be off. All of them should be off except for 4 if you're running a LiPo. You should get the manual, check that out, familiarize yourself with all that. All right, also, I can't stress this enough. The first time you power up the board, throw dip switch 8, calibrate your sticks, throw 8 again, and then you're good to go to try engine start. I think that covers everything. If there's any problems, you can contact me and I'll do all I can to give you support. I know for sure that these boards are 100% fine when I drop them off at the post office. So knock on wood, hopefully everything will be just as fine when you go to plug them in. Just like I said, check out your radio, understand where your channels are. Also, if you've got the Pro, once you do the whole 4 channel and everything's working good, and then you add 5 and 6, and I believe that's user sounds, and you can have your engine start on a switch. So if I were you with a servo, I would figure out what switch or pot controls channel 5 and which one controls channel 6. That way you'll know when you go into it. So like I said, sorry if I came across as patronizing or condescending. I'm not trying to talk down anybody or anything like that. I really don't know how much you guys know about this stuff, so I try to cover all the bases. Sure, I missed something. You probably know all of this and more already. But anyway, it is what it is. So they're on the way. Good luck. Let me know if you have any trouble at all. See you next time.